Ladies and gentlemen, when Allah allows your eyes to open in the morning, it is not because the alarm rang or because your body naturally woke up. It is because your name was called in the heavens. Allah chose you to rise again. Your soul was returned to you after the night. A new chapter was handed to you. Another chance to rewrite your destiny through intention, dua, and action. Many slept last night and did not wake up. But you, Allah woke you up for a reason. He woke you up because there is rizq waiting for you, forgiveness waiting for you, a door that will open today, a burden that will lighten, a prayer that will finally reach its moment of acceptance. The morning light you see is not ordinary, it is a sign that Allah still wants to write goodness in your story. Every morning carries within it a special kind of sustenance, physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, that is written just for you. And rizq is not only money. Sometimes Allah gives you clarity. Sometimes He gives you a person. Sometimes He gives you peace after years of restlessness. Sometimes He gives you strength you didn't know you needed. Sometimes He gives you a delay that saves you. Every breath you take after waking up is a reminder that Allah is not done giving you what is meant for you. He never forgets what He promised. He never overlooks a heart that trusts Him. And even when things feel slow, even when nothing seems to be moving, Allah is placing opportunities in your path that you cannot yet see. But the heart only begins receiving when it starts with dua. There is a dua the Prophet ﷺ taught us for rizq. Allahumma inni azaluka rizqan tayyiban wa ilman nafi'an wa amalan mutakabbalan. O Allah, I ask you for pure and good sustenance, beneficial knowledge and accepted deeds. This dua purifies your intentions, opens doors of provision, and calls upon Allah with humility and hope. When you say this dua in the morning, it is like unlocking a gate that was waiting for your knock. You begin your day not with fear of the future, not with stress about money, not with anxiety about the unknown, but with surrender. And when a servant surrenders to Allah, Allah opens ways from where they could never imagine. He places barakah in what you already have, and He sends more from directions you didn't expect. Often what delays your rizq is not the world, it is your worry, it is your lack of trust in the timing of Allah. You may feel stuck, waiting, confused, or unable to see anything changing. But Allah is preparing something. He delays only to deliver better. He holds back only to give abundantly. He slows down something small to speed up something greater. Your job is not to figure out how. Your job is not to understand the unseen. Your job is to stay consistent, stay grateful, and stay in dua. Because dua is the bridge between what you want and when Allah decides you're ready. And Allah's timing is perfection. Even when your heart is tired, when you put your trust fully in Allah, everything around you begins to change. Fear becomes fuel, hardship becomes a lesson, waiting becomes worship, and every morning becomes a reminder that Allah has chosen you for something meaningful. The moment you realize that Allah is the one managing your affairs, your heart relaxes. The moment you believe His promise, your steps become lighter. And the moment you start your day with dua, your rizq begins to flow in ways you didn't even pray for. Allah woke you up because He wants you to rise, return, remember, and receive. And every morning He whispers through the sunrise, "My servant, I still have blessings prepared for you." Waking up is not the result of routine, habit, or the simple mechanics of your body. It is one of the most intimate signs that Allah is still writing your story. When your soul is returned to you after sleep, when your chest rises again, when your eyes open without effort, when consciousness flows back into your limbs, it is a divine reminder that your life is not random. Allah chose to give you another day, another sunrise, another moment that billions of people around the world were not granted. And if Allah gives life, He gives it with purpose, He gives it with intention. He gives it because there is something placed in this day that belongs only to you. The fact that you woke up means the world has not taken from you what Allah has written for you. It means your story is still unfolding under His mercy. Your opportunities are still active, and your destiny still holds chapters that your heart has not yet witnessed. Every morning is a spiritual resurrection. You go to sleep with worries, burdens, pain, and uncertainty, yet Allah brings you back with a cleansed slate and a renewed soul. You may not feel it immediately because the mind wakes slower than the heart, but deep within you, Allah has placed a fresh dose of strength and protection. Even if you wake up tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, the very act of waking is itself Allah saying, "My servant, I am not done giving you what is written for you." And Allah never wakes a servant without purpose. He never allows you to rise without a reason tied to your rizq, your growth, your healing, or your eternal place with Him. Sometimes you wake up with a heaviness in your chest, wondering how you will face the day. But Allah knew that you needed this specific morning to move closer to what He has planned. A conversation, an opportunity, a realization, a moment of clarity, a hidden protection, a sudden shift in your heart. Something has been placed in this day that carries meaning. Even if the day feels ordinary on the surface, the divine plan beneath it is anything but ordinary. Allah is always orchestrating the unseen. The delay you thought was a setback, the silence you thought was neglect, the stillness you thought was emptiness. Allah is using all of it as part of the wisdom behind waking you up once more. When you woke today, you woke with a purpose embedded inside you, even if you cannot name it yet. Allah woke you because your dua still has a moment of acceptance waiting for it. There is a blessing whose time has come closer. There is a door that is beginning to unlock. There is barakah on its way to you that your soul must be present to receive. There is someone who needs your smile, your presence, your kindness, your dua. There is a sin that you are meant to leave today. There is a habit you are meant to break. There is a version of you that Allah wants you to grow into, and today carries a step toward that version. You were woken because there is something written in your destiny that cannot happen without you being present in this world right now. Sleep is a minor death, and waking is a minor resurrection. Every morning is Allah giving you another chance to redirect, repair, realign and return to Him. It is His mercy renewing itself. It is His compassion extending itself. It is His planning unfolding gently. And within that quiet gift is the message that your life has value, your presence has weight, and your journey is still moving, even if you feel stuck. To wake up is to be chosen again by the Lord who never abandons the hearts that turn to Him. Every morning carries a unique portion of rizq that was written for you long before you were even born. When you open your eyes at dawn, the world may look the same as yesterday, but the unseen realm has already shifted. Angels have already descended with your decreed sustenance, your provision, your opportunities, your protection. Allah sends them with precision, carrying what belongs to you alone, what no one else can take, what no system can block, what no person can interfere with. Rizq comes in countless forms, and every morning starts a new delivery of it. It may arrive in comfort or in disguise, in something that feels sweet or something that feels heavy, but it is always designed specifically for your soul, your circumstances, your growth and your ultimate success in the sight of Allah. Sometimes your rizq for the day comes wrapped in something small, a moment of peace after many restless nights, a sudden idea that solves a problem, the strength to finish something you kept postponing, a conversation that lifts your spirit when you least expect it. Other times it comes in obvious ways, a job offer, a customer, a payment, a message of good news. And then there are days when the rizq is hidden. You don't receive money, but you receive protection from loss. You don't receive a blessing yet, but you are saved from a disaster you never knew was coming. You don't receive what you wanted, but you receive time, clarity, healing or wisdom. These are forms of rizq that the heart often overlooks, but Allah never sends them without purpose. Every sunrise delivers a fresh opportunity for you to be shaped by the divine wisdom written for your life. Some mornings bring ease, reminding you of Allah's kindness. Others bring difficulty, reminding you of Allah's closeness. Some mornings feel empty, but that emptiness is meant to guide you back to dua, back to reliance, back to humility. Allah distributes sustenance in such a calculated way that even the timing of when you find peace in your chest or firmness in your steps is part of your daily provision. When something is written for you today, it will reach you. When something is not meant for today, it will be delayed with wisdom. And when something is removed from your path entirely, it is because Allah has protected you from a path that would have harmed your heart or diverted your destiny. Your rizq in a single day includes every moment of happiness, every breath of relief, every step you take toward improvement, every sin you avoid, every good deed you manage to perform. Allah counts all of this as part of what He grants you. Even the patience you gather during a difficult morning is rizq. Even the tears you shed in sujood are rizq. Even the courage you find to keep moving despite fears is rizq. Allah is constantly providing, constantly surrounding you with what you need, constantly arranging your life in ways that pull you closer to Him, even when you don't realize it. The uniqueness of each morning means no 2 days are spiritually identical. What Allah gives you today cannot be repeated exactly tomorrow. The sunrise you see today is tied to a spiritual assignment for your heart that doesn't exist on any other day. You wake with certain emotions, certain thoughts, certain challenges, certain hopes, all of which are ingredients in the recipe of today's specific rizq. And when Allah grants you the chance to witness a new morning, He is granting you access to blessings that were waiting only for this day. What belongs to you will not pass you. What misses you was never meant for you, and what is approaching you is coming with the precision of divine timing. Each morning is evidence that Allah's generosity toward you is renewed, that His care is active, and that His plan is still unfolding in ways you cannot yet see. The heart begins to shift the moment the tongue begins to make dua. There is a spiritual unlocking that happens when you call upon Allah in the early hours or at the start of your day. It is not just words leaving your mouth, it is your soul reaching upward, asking its Creator to fill the emptiness, to bless the efforts, to purify the intentions, and to expand the rizq that has been written for you. Dua is the first action that aligns your heart with the decree of Allah. It is the bridge that connects your needs to His infinite generosity, your fears to His protection, your weaknesses to His strength, your limitations to His limitless power. When you raise your hands and whisper a dua sincerely, you are declaring that nothing moves in your life without Allah's permission, and nothing can benefit you unless He wills it. The dua for rizq, Allahumma inni as'aluka rizqan tayyiban, wa ilman nafi'an wa amalan mutaqabbalan, is not just a request for provision, it is a request for good provision, pure provision, provision that nourishes your soul and your life without harming your heart or your akhirah. It asks Allah to give you sustenance that does not drag you into sin, that does not fill your hands while emptying your faith, that does not give you material comfort while stealing your inner peace. And when you start your day with such a dua, you begin it with clarity, with direction, with spiritual grounding. You are telling Allah that you want His blessings, but only the blessings that bring you closer to Him. That intention alone reshapes the course of your entire day. When you make dua in the morning, angels are instructed to carry your request upward. Your words are not forgotten, they are not lost, they are not ignored. They rise to the one who answers before you even finish speaking, and often the change begins inside you first. Your heart softens, your mind becomes clearer, your fears loosen their grip, the world feels less heavy, because you handed your burdens to the one who never grows tired. Dua creates a shift inside you that makes you more open to receiving the rizq you were blind to before. It enhances your awareness, your gratitude, your sense of responsibility. Suddenly opportunities that were always there become visible. Blessings you used to overlook become meaningful. You begin to see Allah's generosity in the smallest details of your life. Sometimes the dua does not immediately bring the change you asked for, but it brings the change you needed to prepare for that rizq. It may soften your heart so you can receive guidance. It may increase your patience so you can handle blessings without arrogance. It may protect you from rushing into something harmful. It may redirect you to a path you were avoiding. Every dua for rizq is answered, but the form of the answer is decided by Allah's wisdom. You might ask for wealth, and Allah gives you protection from a loss that you never knew was coming. You might ask for opportunity, and Allah gives you clarity to recognize which doors to avoid. You might ask for ease, and Allah gives you strength, which is a greater blessing than ease itself. Dua is also a cleansing of the heart. When you ask Allah for beneficial knowledge and accepted deeds along with halal and pure sustenance, you are purifying your intentions for the entire day. You are choosing to begin with humility instead of pride, reliance instead of self-sufficiency, surrender instead of control. And when the heart is sincere, Allah places barakah in your efforts, making small actions produce large results, making little income feel like abundance, making small steps become milestones. The dua sets the tone of your morning, and your morning sets the tone of your destiny. And when you begin with Allah, Allah opens for you what would never have opened without Him. When Allah delays something you want, it is never a sign of rejection, it is a sign of preparation. The human heart feels urgency, but Allah's plan operates with precision, not pressure. What you think is a pause is actually a process unfolding behind the veil of the unseen. You may feel that your rizq is slow, your progress is stuck, your prayers are unanswered, but Allah is arranging pieces you cannot see. He is aligning circumstances, protecting you from hidden harm, strengthening your heart, and preparing the environment in which your blessing will land safely. If Allah were to give you everything the moment you asked, you would never learn patience, gratitude, trust, or resilience. Delay is not denial. It is a divine tailoring of what is meant for you so that when it arrives in a form that benefits your dunya and your akhirah. Sometimes Allah delays because the blessing you want is still in motion. Another person's heart needs to change, a door needs to open, a path needs to clear, a test needs to finish, a danger needs to pass. You only see the surface, but Allah sees the entire staircase. You see the moment, but Allah sees the lifetime. You ask for something now,
But Allah knows whether the version of you at this stage can handle it. So He waits. He holds it back until you have grown enough to receive it without becoming arrogant, careless or ungrateful, until your character is solid enough to carry the weight of the blessing, until your heart is stable enough not to make the gift more important than the giver. This is mercy disguised as delay, protection disguised as waiting. There are times when Allah withholds something because you are asking for a small blessing while He is preparing a greater one. If He gave you the smaller one right away, it would block the door to the bigger one. Sometimes closure is risk, sometimes loss is risk, sometimes being forced to wait is the reason you end up in a place far better than what you prayed for. Allah does not take except to give. He does not close except to redirect. He does not delay except to elevate what is coming toward you. Every moment of waiting is shaping your heart, polishing your spirit, and refining your intentions. When Allah delays your provision, it is also a chance for you to deepen your trust in Him, to strengthen your relationship with Dua, to renew your reliance on Him instead of relying on people, circumstances or your own abilities. Many times, it is during the waiting that your most sincere prayers are made, your most transformative growth happens, your most heartfelt tears fall, and your most intimate conversations with Allah occur. This waiting period becomes the womb of your new beginning. Something inside you changes, becomes softer, wiser, more patient, more aware of Allah's nearness. You may not understand the timing of Allah, but every delay is carrying wisdom. There is a moment written for every blessing, and it will not arrive a second earlier, or a second later than the perfect time. The sunrise never comes too soon or too late, and neither does Allah's decree. What you are waiting for is already written. Your job is to prepare for it through patience, gratitude and dua. Allah delays so that when the blessing finally appears, your heart says, Subhanallah, now I understand why it took this long. The relief feels sweeter, the gratitude feels deeper, and the journey suddenly makes sense in a way it never did before. Trusting Allah's plan is not simply a belief you carry in your mind. It is an entire transformation that takes place within your heart, your decisions, your reactions, and your view of life itself. When you truly trust Allah, something inside you shifts. Fear no longer has the same power over you. Worries lose their ability to suffocate your spirit. Uncertainty stops feeling like a punishment, and starts feeling like an invitation to lean on the one who controls every atom in existence. Trust is a light that Allah places in the heart of the believer, and it illuminates everything it touches. When Allah is the one managing your affairs, you start to walk differently, breathe differently, think differently. You stop clinging to outcomes, and start clinging to the one who creates outcomes. You stop being shaken by the storms of life because you know who sends the rain and who clears the skies. This kind of trust makes you stronger than any hardship and softer than any blessing. When you trust Allah completely, pain no longer becomes a reason to collapse. It becomes a reason to turn to Him more deeply. You begin to see hardship as a teacher rather than an enemy. You recognize that every difficulty carries a wisdom, a doorway or a protection. Trusting Allah transforms the way you interpret the world. A delayed blessing becomes a sign that Allah is preparing something better. A closed door becomes a message that what is behind it was not meant for you. A loss becomes a reminder that Allah is redirecting your path, not abandoning you. Even moments of heartbreak become moments of purification, where Allah removes what would have harmed you, and replaces it with what will heal you. When you trust Allah, you begin to understand that nothing leaves your life except that something better is on its way, even if you cannot see it yet. This trust also turns waiting into worship. Instead of becoming restless or bitter, you use the waiting period to improve yourself, deepen your dua, purify your intentions, and strengthen your connection to Allah. You realize that Allah is not making you wait to punish you. He is making you wait to polish you. Every moment of patience increases your rank. Every tear you shed in sujood brings you closer to relief. Every breath you take while relying on Allah writes reward in your book. When your heart submits to Allah's timing, you stop rushing life. You stop forcing outcomes that are not meant for you. You start moving with calmness, because you trust that what is written for you will find you, even if the entire world tries to stop it. Trusting Allah also transforms fear into fuel. Instead of allowing fear to paralyze you, it pushes you to seek Him more. It motivates you to make better choices, to seek halal rushd, to leave sins, to improve your character. It gives you the courage to let go of what Allah does not want for you, and the strength to pursue what He has written for your heart. When Allah is the one you rely on, you fear losing nothing except His pleasure. This trust creates a beautiful serenity within you. You begin to feel safe even in uncertainty, protected even in difficulty, hopeful even in darkness. You start to see Allah's mercy in every detail of your life, from the smallest comforts to the greatest challenges. And as trust settles deeply in your heart, you realize that every blessing ahead of you is already written, already prepared, already in motion. Your only task is to move toward Allah with sincerity, to seek Him in every moment, and to believe that His plan is always superior to your desire. You stop worrying about how things will happen, because you know who is making them happen. You stop questioning the timing, because you know the timing is perfect. And you stop fearing the future, because you know that your future has always been in the hands of the most merciful.